We are always at least a little bit afraid of something that we've never seen before. And there are a lot of things that have changed over the past few months.
Oh, no kidding. We got a lot of great questions from kids about just that, about fear and feelings. So we brought in Dr. Juveria Zaheer. She's a psychiatrist who's an expert in mental health. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get right to our first question.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and I live in Eganville, Ontario, and I am 9 years old. And I've been self isolating with my family for the past 6 weeks. And I can only imagine how it would feel like if I was by myself. How is this going to impact mental health?
Thank you so much, Brock. You make such a thoughtful point about how social isolation and the pandemic can affect our mental health. I think the situation is tough for a few reasons. The first is we can feel sad because we miss the people we care about, things we love to do. We can also feel worried or stressed about, how long is this going to go on for? What can we expect? And we can worry about our health and the health of the people we love. I think it's also tough because things that we normally do to cope, like going outside, talking to friends, having a routine, feel very different right now. I think the most important thing to remember is that even though we're apart, we're all in this together and we can find interesting ways to connect and to make sure that everyone knows that we love, that we care about them. And I think that way, even if we're alone, we won't feel so lonely.
I love that. This is another great question.
Hi, my name is Sage, and I'm 12 years old. I live in Toronto, and I have actually been homeschooled my whole life. Because of COVID, I have stopped playing volleyball and seeing my friends, and it makes me really sad because I was looking forward to all the tournaments and provincials that happened this month. Also, 2 weeks ago, we had to say goodbye to our dog, Henry. Here he is. I wanted to ask about how to be sad during this pandemic.
It's such a great point. Everyone's telling us to be strong and positive, but is it okay to be sad sometimes?
It is definitely okay to be sad sometimes. Sage, I'm so sorry that you're missing Henry on top of with all of the other losses, friends and volleyball. And I will say that sadness is a normal feeling. And that to me, it shows me that you have a really big heart and you care about people. And right now, your heart is hurting, but your feelings matter and you matter. And I think that by being so brave and honest and open about your feelings, it gives people a chance to help you and to reach out. And it shows them that when they feel sad, they can trust you with their feelings. I think the best way to be strong is to bravely share how we feel. And you did that. And I think that's amazing.
And it was incredibly brave. This next one is really interesting, and it comes to us from Noah.
How come some people don't believe in COVID-19?
No, I think that is a great question. It's a question I think about a lot too. The way that helps me understand is I think, this is a really big and weird and life changing thing. And kids have never had this happen to them. Their parents have never had it happen. Even their grandparents have never seen anything like this. And I think when something so big and so strange happens, sometimes our brain feels overwhelmed and it says, you know what, forget it. I don't think this is a real thing. And in the short term, you can feel a bit better. But in the long term, you don't really learn how to cope and you don't really make safe decisions that might help keep you safe, make you feel better. I think the other reason that people doubt whether COVID-19 exists is in 2020, we're really lucky because there's so much information everywhere. But anyone can post a video online and say lots of things that might not be true. So I think this is a really good time for kids and adults to sort of think about where am I getting my news from, who's trustworthy, and how do I understand what I'm watching?
This next question, Doctor, brings up something really important.
Hi, my name is Jack. I'm in grade 4. And when am I going to go back to school? I miss my friends.
Oh, yeah, this one brings up something really big. We've all been isolating. We haven't been allowed to see people for a very long time, our friends, our cousins, our grandparents. How do you deal with those feelings of missing someone?
I think this is so important. When I think about my daughters, the thing that's hardest for them is they miss their amazing friends at school and their amazing teachers, and they miss their aunts and uncles and their grandparents and their great grandparents. And this is really hard. I think, Jack, if you're missing those friends, I bet they're really missing you too. And right now, it's important to find cool ways to connect. In our family, we try to do a lot of video chats, but I know that for kids, chatting and staring at your friend online can feel kind of weird. So there's the opportunity to do different activities like playing a board game, doing an exercise video together, playing a video game together, watching the same show and talking about it. Another thing that I think really helps is when we go on our family walks, my daughter sometimes sees her good friends from across the street and she can yell hello from a safe distance. And I know that helps us feel really connected.
Next up, Roshan has a little advice and also brings up a really important point.
Oh, hi. My name is Roshan, and I am 7 years old. Kids, make sure be nice and patient for your parents because they might have a little bit of a struggle right now because the virus, the quarantine, it's really hard.
It is really hard. Let's admit it. As parents have had a tough time. We're trying to do everything. We're trying to work from home and cook healthy meals and get exercise for our kids and play with them and homeschool them. So, what should kids know about how their parents are feeling right now?
Well, as a parent, I can really identify with this, and I think Roshan gives some really caring and thoughtful advice. I think in terms of how your parents are feeling, I think like you, kids and parents, they're all doing the best they can, but this is really tough, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed. I know it sounds funny to say, but as a parent, all the parents I know, they really appreciate when their kid says something kind to them, to say, I love you, or you're doing a great job, or that was a really great dinner. That goes a long way to help your parents feel better. I think the second thing I would suggest is to remember that whoever you live with right now is your team, whether it's two people or eight people, you guys are on the same team. And during the pandemic, everybody has good days and bad days. And if someone on your team, whether it's a parent or a sibling, is having a bad day, you can work together to make them feel better. And then when you're having a bad day, they can rally around you and help you too.
Dr. Zahir, I love that so much. We have a saying in our house, it's teamwork makes the dream work. And I think that's so true. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thank you so much for having me on.
We want to let you know if you feel you want to talk to someone outside of your house, you can always reach out to the Kids Help phone. You can text Connect to 686868 or call 1 800 668 6868. The information is right here on the screen, and we'll put it on our social media too. There is always someone there who can talk to you.